Hello and welcome to Wheeling Feeling, presented by Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration and Wheeling Island Hotel Casino Racetrack. Well, we are now officially into summer and things are really heating up down at Heritage Port in Wheeling over the next few weeks. Now, this next event we're going to talk about won't make you whine. Or will it? We have much more on the Wheeling Wine Mixer coming up in 30 seconds.
Wheeling Island has your share of $100,000 as part of our summer living giveaways. So join us Saturdays in June, where each week we'll draw 10 lucky winners every hour from 7 to 10 p.m. Play for your chance to win free play or gift cards up to $2,500 each. Pick the progressive and you'll win cash starting at $2,000 or more. Players receive one entry for every 50 base points earned. Plus, you'll earn double entries when you play on Mondays and Tuesdays. Only at Wheeling Island Hotel Casino Racetrack.
A big weekend happening at Heritage Port, and it all surrounds something that is very close to my heart, wine. It is the Wheeling Wine Mixer happening at Heritage Port this weekend. I'm joined by co-chair Ken Sexton. Ken, tell me a little bit about the Wheeling Wine Mixer and what people can expect.
Yeah, Jamie. So it's the first year back for a wine festival in downtown Wheeling at Heritage Port. We have a great day planned. It's going to kick off at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. For VIPs, and we've had a lot of great community support. And then at 3 o'clock, it'll open up for all the folks who have purchased tickets, and there'll be music all day, some great local music, some folks out of Pittsburgh doing some boy band music. We've picked some wineries from local and regional wines. Moss Farms will be here right out of Wheeling. And they'll have a lot of their different selections. We have some great vendors. And so we have a charcuterie class. We have a paint and sip of the suspension bridge. And so folks will have definitely a great day filled with lots of different things. And it's all going to go towards a great cause, because the proceeds from this event is going to historic preservation in Wheeling. And I think everybody recognizes now that Wheeling has reinvented itself, and you see a lot of growth down there. And so while we're building new buildings, we want to make sure we're holding on to some old buildings. And so there's some great groups out there doing some of that. And so the proceeds are going to go to those groups to help them continue to do that and their cause.
Well, tell me a little bit about tickets and what people need to do to get tickets for the event.
Yeah, so we created, we really hit social media hard on this event. And so you can just either go to wheelingwinemixer.com on Facebook or wheelingwinemixer.com, and there's a link right there to click on tickets. And right now you can get those tickets for $35. And that'll give you access to the entire event. Our schedule or our entertainment is there. Our wineries are there. Our sponsors are there. So it's really a one-stop shop to get everything you need to know about the wine festival. And so we're excited about that. We've spent a lot of time making sure that we're out there on social media. We've done a lot of news coverage. And so, $35 will get you a great day down at Heritage Port.
Well, tell me a little bit about why you guys wanted to bring this back.
Yeah, so there's great festivals. There's great festivals in Steubenville, and there's great festivals going on in Wheeling and Ogilvie. But one of the festivals that seems to be missing was that wine festival. And so we were just out thinking and talking about different ideas about what kind of festival we needed in Wheeling. And one of the ones that kept coming back up was the wine festival, because it's been missing for a few years. And so we just want to put that with a great cause like historic preservation, and that's how it all began. And so that's really the way it's going to go.
Well, can you tell me a little bit about how looking at the website, I see you get sample tickets, things like that.
Yeah.
Can you explain kind of the way people will be able to get these drinks and what they need to do if they want to get more tickets for those, things like that?
Sure. Great question. So when you come through, you will get basically it'll be a little punch card, almost like a bingo card. It'll have all the different wineries listed, and then you'll get a commemorative a glass, and that glass is what you'll use to go to each one of these different vendors. And then those vendors will then allow you to sample the various wines that they have to offer. And so in the end, you'll get to sample 10 different wineries, some local wineries, and then some regional wineries. And then if you want to purchase additional glasses or a bottle, you're welcome to do that from the individual vendors.
Well, you mentioned this is also going to help benefit historic preservation of Wheeling. You touched on it a little bit, but
Yeah,
I know these folks have been super busy over the last couple of years. How
sure.
important is it to make sure that they're getting the money to continue doing what they're doing around the city of Wheeling?
Yeah, so there's a lot of great groups working out there. The first recipients of this year is Ritchietown Renaissance. Now that's a relatively new group working in South Wheeling. They've acquired the Kepner building, a funeral home that dates back. Part of that building dates back to pre-Civil War. That building was slated to be demolished, but instead of being demolished, this nonprofit historical group now has that building. And when you have old buildings like that, it takes lots of money to fix them up. And so the proceeds we get from this event will then go to help them bring that building up to new codes and restore it back to its splendor. Yeah. So, it's super important. I meet lots of people in this area that are coming to Wheeling and they're buying buildings. They're buying houses because, a building or a house in Wheeling is a fraction of the cost of what you would find in some of these larger cities like San Francisco or Boston or in some of these other cities. And so they're coming here because we have those buildings and they're a great price. And so we got to make sure we keep those buildings so people buy them and redo them.
Well, then also just a few things for folks to know. Number one, do you suggest that they buy tickets in advance for this, or will tickets be available day of?
Yeah, there will be some available at the gate, but it's always best to get these tickets in advance because we're planning based on the number of our ticket sales. And so we want to make sure we have plenty of food, plenty of wine. And so I think it is best to get those tickets in advance so that we can plan accordingly. And I think, looking out, the weather's going to be great. It's not going to be as hot. There's no rain forecasted. We have plenty of tents if it does. So I'm hoping folks come out and support it because one thing good about the Ohio Valley is they do tend to support lots of different events.
Well, then my last question, you mentioned it, but there's going to be local vendors here, local wine. How important is it to make sure as you're holding these events in Wheeling, you're also doing it in a way that supports local businesses?
Yeah, I think anyone who's lived through the last couple of years in downtown Wheeling through the Streetscape project knows how some of these places have really weathered the storm. And so like Table 304, which is a small restaurant down near 16th Street, they'll be there with a charcuterie class. And so we tried to pick folks that were local that we thought we could also help along the way, and then it could also help us. And so I think supporting these events, people always say there's nothing to do in Wheeling, but there's lots of things to do in Wheeling. You just have to get out there and support these events. And I think people do.
Ken, I was looking at the website. I like the tagline. It's time to start whining and come back downtown. Whoever came up with that, A+ on that.
Oh, great. Thanks.
But again, if people want to buy tickets, have any questions, what's their best way to reach out to you guys?
Yeah, just go straight to, again, Wheeling Mind Mixer on Facebook or wheelingmindmixer.com. We have email addresses there. And then you can just click the ticket button and buy your tickets right there. They'll send them to you and we'll just scan them at the gate. So you'll be able to get right in.
All right, Ken, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
All right, Jamie, thanks for having us.
West Virginia's largest restoration company is now in the heart of the Mountain State. With a location in Charleston, joining our branches in Wheeling, Morgantown, and Pittsburgh, we'll be there to help when you need it most. Our expert team and state-of-the-art equipment is ready to serve the Kanawha Valley 24 hours a day. From water damage to fire restoration, when disaster strikes your home or business, tell your insurance provider you prefer the restoration company the Mountaineers call, Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
Now, of course, there are also plenty of other events happening around the Friendly City this weekend. On Friday, they will kick off the Bicycle art exhibit happening at the Stifel Fine Arts Center. That'll run until August 23rd. Also on Friday, of course, it is Fun Fest Fridays at Wheeling Park. This week, they're featuring Taylor Joe and the Copper Creek Band. Now, everything gets started at 6, but music kicks off at 7. And if you're looking to take a little bit of a drive, it is also the first night of the Back Home Festival in New Martinsville. That runs throughout the entire weekend. On Saturday, the Highlanders Football Club will be playing at Wheeling University. The match will feature them against Sporting Columbus. Admission for the event is free, and the match starts at 1 o'clock. Now, Saturday is also the Valley Grove VFD Community Day, where they'll have live music, concessions, and activities throughout the day. This is held at the VFD on National Road and will run from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And on Sunday, the Sunday Fun Day concert series is back at Ogilvy. This week, they're featuring Horde and Jones. The fun starts at 6 o'clock at Ogilvy's Amphitheater, and live music starts at 7. And that'll do it for this week's Wheeling Feeling. Now, we'll be coming to you a bit early next week as we get you ready for all of the 4th of July festivities around the city. Until then, have a great week, and we'll see you then.